Welcome to the Drunk Room. I'm your host, Bruce. We're going on location today. We're in Junkman's toy room. Miracle green screen. I'm still in my basement like a loser. Anyway, I promised Junkman I would do a parody video or something. I couldn't come up with any good ideas, so I just thought I'd include this in it. Mess with him a little bit. If you don't know who Junkman is, he goes by That Junkman on YouTube. Good guy, funny guy. We pick on each other all the time without getting mad at each other like some of the other guys do. Like, they always get mad at each other. Anyway, it's been a busy weekend. I know I've done a bunch of videos, and you're probably sick of seeing me. But it's been 2 weeks since the last time I started doing this, reading comments online on my videos video. So here we are. We're going to do it. I want to thank my wife for this awesome Star Wars hat she got me for Valentine's Day. She's pretty cool. Copyright violation. Collectors will understand what's going on this week with that. The rest of you are like, what is Bruce's problem? Well, I'm weird. Get over it. So let's get into our comments right now. They're mostly good. I don't have a lot of mean ones this week. I mean, I don't like the mean ones, but they might make a good video when I do this every 2 weeks. So let's see who said stuff on my channel today. Looks like we're ready. All right. First comment of the night is Tamara Tenor on how to have your own fish fry. It ended up being a copycat recipe, Long John Silver's. Yeah, it's a good recipe. You gotta try it out. It's a big thing about the fish fries in this area being canceled because of supply and demand. Anyway, I put the recipe up, and Tamara commented, "I can't wait to do this. What's the difference between the filet and the loin?" I explained it in there for you, but I'll tell you real quick there, Tamara. The filet is a thinner part, and it cooks up better, in my opinion. The loin is a thicker part, and when we make it this way, it kind of tends to be tough and chewy, and I don't like tough and chewy fish. Okay, well, we got like 2 or 3 here from Tamara. I think we knew each other or something. Actually, we've been friends since I was like in my 20s. I don't know. Anyway, this is on my beef Wellington that I made for my wife. I love your cooking video, but you had me until mushrooms. Is there any way to make this without mushrooms without affecting the flavor? No. Keep the mushrooms in. Grind them down to a pulp. You won't even know they're mushrooms, but it adds a certain flavor to the Wellington that you need. Moving on, Tamara again. Talking about, I made a rant the other night. Yeah, just watch it. It's funny. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and you know that you saw the preface of this particular one. Ooh, let's just say I was shit-faced. Anyway, I absolutely agree with everything you said. As I've always said, I love you for your opinions because you're right. The new camera is much cleaner. We can see how tired you are. Yeah, okay, we'll go with tired. Yeah, I was pretty drunk, but I don't care. Sometimes, it's easier to talk when I'm drunk. Tonight I'm fine, believe it or not. I cracked that beer open just to be funny. It's actually still early. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. So, yeah. Anyway, Tamara, I appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. Next comment. Darth Tasty, 2099, 1 day ago, on my late night rant. What we really want to know is what is in Kim's box on the shelf. We need a video on the contents. Great video rant. Love your take on things. Very well said. Keep up the awesome content coming. I don't remember what I said on that video. Like I said, I was drunk. But as far as Kim's box, in the background, you'll see a box on top of the printer that says Kim's box. I wish it was a better story, but all it is my wife's papers that come out of the printer. We share that printer. I use it for shipping labels and instructions and whatever else I need to print out in black and white. And she does her work with it. So, unfortunately, no big surprises in the box. It wasn't meant to be an Easter egg. It's kind of ended up that way because it does kind of stand out. So check the video out if you want to. Tori Evans, next on the rant video. So, first off, let me say I like your channel and I enjoy a good deal of your videos. You remind me of old school YouTube. I am old. And I mean that as 100% as a compliment. Okay, cool. YouTube used to be a place where people can show things unique to themselves. Read more. Let's click on read more. I like where this is going. Ooh, wow. Tori wrote a lot. All right, that being said, there's a lot I want to respond to. Here we go. Both positive and a few negative. I could take it. I could take it as long as you're nice. Though, want to ask permission first. This seems to be a video where you just wanted to get some things off your chest, and I'd rather not drag this into conversation that you don't want to have. Okay, first of all, Tori, I don't mind negative comments, but there's a way to say them. Just be polite. You know, instead of sitting there making fun of me for being old or something like that, if you have an actual point, go right ahead. I'm willing to listen. It's just I get a lot of people on there that just say out of line stuff. I mean, if they don't agree with my thoughts, they're going to sit there and call me fat or call me old. That doesn't make sense. But I love debating. I love discussing. So let me have it. But if nothing else, I'd like to say, try not to worry about the people, the bad people of the world doing bad things. Sorry if you're not religious, but you know how the Bible talks. Who says I'm not religious? I believe, I call myself spiritual, and I don't talk about religion on YouTube, but anyway. Sorry, I'm sorry, I misread it. Sorry if you're not religious, but you know how the Bible talks about keeping your mind clear to avoid sin. Okay, she's talking about me venting. Yes, every once in a while I need to vent, and it's a healthy thing. I don't do it all the time. I try to always be positive, but I don't care who you are. Sometimes, as I said in the previous video about depression, sometimes a clown needs to cry, and it's okay to vent once in a while. But if you're a constant complainer, then you need to seek some help or a new attitude or a better coping mechanism for it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about myself and anybody else out there. Sometimes you have to watch what you're clicking on so you're not reinforcing the algorithm and you're not allowing that crappy content to get close to you. Luckily, unlike your mind, you can edit your feed. I really recommend right-clicking on videos. Okay, she's telling me how to block the videos that were annoying me because I did talk about a few videos that just annoy me on YouTube. And I don't need to block them. I know how to do that. I'm just saying that they shouldn't be there in the first place. And I'm not one to censor people, but just people get on YouTube and they think they can do whatever they want to, no matter who they hurt or anything. They think they can say anything. They get keyboard warriors, one YouTuber attacking another one. Like what I'm doing tonight in Junkman's room is not attacking him. It's just me having a little bit of fun with him. But I'm friends with Junkman. We make fun of each other in a good way, just like, friends picking on each other. A little bit. We don't get real. He's not going to pick on me for obvious things. I'm not going to pick on him for obvious things. So, all right, continuing. I don't like blocking people or content. She's still going on about that. If you don't tell your YouTube you're not interested, I'm just going to give Cliff Notes on that one. She's just saying that I can pick and choose what I see, which I can, and I'm not saying not to, but what I am saying is there's just things on there that shouldn't. And if you want to watch the rant video, you can see what I was talking about, because as drunk as I was, I still made a little bit of sense. Next person, here I'll highlight it. Maybe you guys can help me. Ahummell. Sorry, dude, I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay, anyway, this is on my chicken egg roll recipe video that I did. And they say, thanks for posting this. I may have to give it a try someday, as I loved Chin's, Chin's is a restaurant that I actually got this recipe originated from. I knew the owner's fairly well. Must be a local guy. I know who this is. Oh, he's on my Facebook. His name is Andy Hummel. Okay, Hummel. Now I see it. Okay. Oy vey. Okay. Thanks for posting this. I may have to give it a try someday, as I love Chin's. I knew the owners fairly well. Long story. And I miss both Chin's and Teddy's, which is the two restaurants that used to serve these egg rolls before they both closed down. They didn't close down because of the egg rolls. So if you like chicken egg rolls, give this one a try. Next comment, Planet Schlock. I've seen him on here before. Or her. I'm not really quite sure. I don't mean to assume anybody's gender. Just hard to tell when it's a name like that. This is on the reusable molding compound video, which has been out for quite a while. I finally got around to making some last weekend, and while I followed the recipe to the letter, it was a bit worried at first. When I mixed it, there were 0 chunks to strain out, and the color was an even lighter, more translucent color than any. Read more. Any batch I'd ever seen other people's videos. Thankfully, none of that mattered because it solidified in the fridge. I tried it out with 2 different figures. A little 2-inch something Transformers and 4-inch something Dark Souls. Sorry, not familiar with those figures. And it works great. All right, good. The bubble thing, is it bubbles or chunks? Yeah, the chunks. The chunks thing, I mean, I've made it where there weren't any chunks in it at all. And I've made it when there was a lot of chunks in it. And then I had to strain it like I did in that video. It's never really given me any problems. So chunks or not, if you get chunks, strain them. If you don't get chunks, well, you're lucky like Planet Schlock here, and you can continue and you'll be perfectly fine. Phil Wheeler is commenting on why are Power of the Force 2 products unpopular. Video I did a while back. I think the reason, moving the microphone, I feel like it was bumping off the table. All right, Phil Wheeler. I think the reason Power of the Force 2 wasn't a hit was because the initial figures were too Arnie-like, and so were mocked by collectors, and so they ignored them and subsequent releases, while the special conditions of VHS re-releases occurred at, read more, this time. Ooh, a lot here. The release was only for a limited time at Christmas, which meant kids didn't really get a chance to enjoy them, so they never really hit either audience. Personally, I like these era figures, and they aren't crazy prices. I can't wait to get back into the collecting these shortly now that I have space to display my Star Wars collection. That's good. You got it. You got to love it. Showing your collection. I love showing my collection too. As far as the Power of the Force 2 figures, I did a whole video on that. When I first found them, I liked them, and he's right. They were at a great price. I did notice most of them were like all buff, and from what I understand, that was to compete with the He-Man figures that came out at the same time. At least from my research, that's what I learned. But do I collect them? No, I actually sold them to a friend of mine who could appreciate them better than me. I'm a vintage guy. I like the ones between 77 and 85. You know, back when I was a kid, the ones I actually hadn't played with when I was a kid. In my mind, there's really nothing wrong with the Power of the Force 2 figures. It just wasn't my era. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't like how beefed up they were. I wasn't a fan of that. But as far as detail, they were okay. A lot of the figures didn't look like the actors, but neither did the ones we had when I was a kid. So they kind of changed that in the Black Series and the newer ones that have come out since then. I don't collect those. I've got a bunch laying around here, but I don't collect them like I do the vintage ones. So, my question about the video when I did it is like I couldn't understand why nobody wanted them. But after thinking about it, and, most collectors, the majority of collectors are my age, and we're collecting the vintage ones. But there are the Power of the Force 2 collectors, too. So, hey, you know what? Whatever you collect, enjoy it. And, enjoy it your way. Don't let anybody tell you how to collect or what you need to do. So, thank you for your comment, Mr. Phil. Moving on. John Jones. John Jones. I went to school with a John Jones. I always thought that was a made-up name, but since I went to school with a guy named John Jones, this isn't him. But anyway, how to make amazing chicken egg rolls. My own recipe. I recently got an air fryer and started experimenting with those same egg roll wrappers. So far, I always get notifications when I'm on here. I'm just going to let it go. I got to start over, though, because I'm dumb. I recently got an air fryer and started experimenting with those same egg roll wrappers. So far, made some delicious Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Cheesesteak egg rolls. I'm going to have to give this a try. Thanks for sharing the recipe. You're quite welcome. I hope it works out for you. Like I said, any questions, let me know. When I found out the secret ingredient, I couldn't believe it, but that's true. Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. That sounds good. I know upstairs we have a bunch of corned beef and sauerkraut. My wife and I had Reuben sandwiches last week, and she bought 2 pounds of corned beef, which I love corned beef. I love Reuben's. But we ate all the marble rye bread that she bought. So I'm thinking of trying an egg roll because I have leftover egg roll wrappers. I'm thinking of trying an egg roll, but I'm going to stuff it with Reuben guts. And then for the dipping sauce, it'll be the Thousand Island dressing. I think that's going to be really good, and I can't wait to try it. In fact, I might do that tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for your comment, John. Moving on. Darth Tasty again, 5 days ago. Nothing like a Jenner Custom egg roll. Because it's Jenner Custom Toys is my toy line, but that's awesome. Yeah, I'm versatile, man. I do a lot of things. I work with wood too. It's just been very slow with wood because of the prices. Oh, look, an elephant. Oh, I was mistaken. It was just my ex. Cracker Jack, 5 days ago. Making a vacuum chamber for resin casting. I did a whole, in this past couple weeks, I did a whole video, 3-part video of how to make a vacuum chamber for resin casting. And it's in 3 parts. If you know me, you know I do my videos pass or fail. Let's just say part one was a fail, but I fixed it in part two. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, absolutely check them out. Meanwhile, Cracker Jack's comment, thanks. I will be looking for a pressure cooker with a glass top. Okay, Cracker Jack, I hope you see this video. Pressure cooker with a glass top will not work as a vacuum chamber, and I'm going to tell you why. That's not why. Pressure cooker with a glass top is going to have the glass on the inside because it's a pressure cooker and it's pushing out. The pressure's pushing out. That plexiglass or whatever type of plastic glass material they're using will be pushing out too. So the seal will stick. It actually seals itself. If you make that into a pressure pot, it's going to be the exact opposite. Or, I'm sorry, if you make that into a vacuum chamber, it's going to be the exact opposite. And what it's going to do is it's going to suck in. And the first thing it's going to get let go is that piece of plastic, glass, whatever they stick in there. The seal's going to break. It's going to get sucked into your vacuum chamber and ruin it. I do have an alternative method that I haven't tried yet. If you take your pressure pot, take a piece of thick plexiglass. The thicker the better. I think you can get it 1/4 inch thick. I haven't tried this yet, but I think in theory it's going to work. Make yourself a gasket on top of your pressure. On top of your vacuum chamber. Make yourself a gasket with. I just had it sitting here. It's a liquid gasket maker, and then we're going to set that. And I'm going to do this for another video coming up whenever I get around to it. But then you take your plexiglass and you sit it on top of the vacuum chamber that you're using. And I've seen this in a couple other videos. Why is my ankle always itchy when I do these videos? Okay. It's my dog. He keeps licking me. Back to what I was saying. So this piece of plexiglass, which I want to try, that's where we're going to put our port in to suck the air out. So while we're sucking the air out, it'll actually pull that down on top of the vacuum chamber, and it's going to make a seal. And by making that seal, it's going to keep that seal with the suction. Then when you hit the release valve, all the air comes back in. You should be able to, in theory, pick that straight up off, and you're good to go. And you can see what you're doing inside too. I haven't done it yet, but that is my next thing I want to do. So thank you very much for the input, and thanks for the comment. Moving to the next one about how to fix Kenner Star Wars toy motors. I did that a little bit ago. It's specifically Kenner Star Wars toys. They have this little motor in it, and most of them are the same. And I showed how to fix those and how to actually surgically take them apart on the inside. He asked me, do I use a 9-volt battery for the test? Yes, I do. Is that not too much power and damage to the motor? The Star Wars toys are only powered with 3-volt, 2 times 1.5 batteries, I think. Read more. Greetings from Germany. Oh, Guten Tag. Thomas, if you watched the whole video, I did explain that in there. The 9-volt battery is overrated for the 3-volt motor, but what we do is we actually shock it and jump start it like if you're jump starting a car. You're not going to hold the wire down on there the whole time and burn out the engine. You're just going to tap it, just zip, like that, just to send a little jolt through that to get it moving. I've been doing this for the restorations on these motors. I've been doing it for about 6 or 7 years, just them, and I've never had one blow up because of this. So hope that helps, and thanks for the comment. Moving on, Tony Weber on the reusable molding compound. Can this be used with concrete casting? Okay, now if you see here, my original comment was no. One of my viewers tried it, and it was an epic fail. It only works with clear resin so far. That's true, but I'm also a dummy because I didn't realize he was talking about can he put it around concrete as his master to make a mold. Yes and no. Yes, you can, but you have to, and the no part of it is no if it's not sealed. So if you have a piece of concrete that you want to make a casting around, you have to make sure it's sealed with polyurethane, clear coat, anything to seal that. If you do it without sealing it, there is a chance that the compound might get into those little intricate holes and stuff and just stay there, which as far as your master goes, you can wash it out with hot water, but it's not going to do you much if you can't mold it properly. So if you have any more questions on that, please let me know. Moving on, next one. Oh yeah, thanks for that comment, because that's actually something good to think about, because I personally only cast plastic things or mold. I only mold the plastic things. I haven't, and glass. I haven't really tried any other materials. So that was actually a really good question. I just happened to answer it wrong the first time until I thought about it. Okay, Sam Greenberg, about my vacuum chamber. Do you have a good link for the hand vacuum? I think I gave him one. I think I put one in there. Yes, I did. There's one on Amazon.com, about 23 bucks. So there's a link for you, buddy. I hope you find it. I hope it works for you. Let me know. Captain J777. We've been talking back and forth here on this. Making fun of my bald spot. He's not really making fun of my bald spot. He's saying, and a very nice bald spot it is, which I mentioned in my very first resin pressure pot video. Oh, there's that elephant again. Look over there. He's gone now. Okay, so leave me alone. It's been a long weekend. So anyway, he's referring to my resin pressure pot. And I did make fun of because I actually messed up the audio in that, so I had to narrate myself, and I made fun of myself the whole time, which was actually really fun to do, but it was like off the cuff, spur of the moment thing. Like it is what it is. He says he appreciates the video. I appreciate you, man. Oh, he did ask me a question about a bucket. He wanted to use a five-gallon bucket, and the smaller the bucket, the better. I've explained that in a follow-up video, and I also answered it to him there. And as far as bald spot goes, that video was a year ago. I actually did a video about my bald spot and how it's been a year, and I started using minoxidil, and my hair's actually coming back, not like it was 20 years ago, but it is coming back, and my bald spot's actually filling in. It's been 4 months, and you can watch that video and see the results and stuff like that. I mean, ta-da! Yeah, I got some hair. It's not perfect, but it's more than I had 4 months ago. Okay, back to the toy motor question. Core BDP, about 8 days ago. Thing with all Kenner Star Wars ships or vehicle motors, they're all the same motors. Just knowing something as small as that is a bonus. When listing on Star Wars ships, said not working because it's your gain and Star Wars loss. Okay, I never seen this one before, so let me give him a like for paying attention or for participating. Also, no, those motors are not all the same. The X-Wing and the TIE Fighter have the same engine in it. Different gears on the front end, though. The Snowspeeder has a bigger motor. And I think the Snowspeeder motor is the same size that goes in the Falcon. I used to know all this stuff, but it's pop quiz, so some are the same, some aren't. Yeah, so just be careful, man. Don't buy something thinking you have an extra motor hanging around. Find out the extra motor ain't going to work. It's not a battery issue either. It's a size issue. And the gear on the front. So anyway, thanks for your comment, man. Landy on Do-It-Yourself Pressure Pot. Thanks for this. I'm starting to make my own dice for D&D and was put off by the price of pressure pots, so this was great to find. You're welcome, and good luck to you. Send me your results. I'd love to see them. I made a dice video, too, just to see if I could do it, and they come out okay. I'm not a dice guy. I don't play D&D, but always looked interesting to me. Captain Slaymore, about my pressure pot. You're 100% correct on what you said. Any time working with pressurized air, there's risk of injury, so safety first. The 5-gallon bucket was tested here, got to 9.2 psi before the lid blew off loudly. 5-gallon buckets are not the way to go. Agreed. And I said that in the follow-up. It does work as a vacuum chamber for him, but I don't recommend going too nuts as we're working with plastic here. Agreed. Love the videos. Thanks for giving secrets you have learned to help folks. Peace. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. That was Captain Slaymore. Yeah, that's why I have stressed before about the lid of that pressure pot. It really needs to be the lid I use, because if it's a screw-on lid and you do happen to put too much pressure in it, it will explode. Well, it won't explode like fire and everything, but it'll blow all that air out. The lid will pop up and have it could hurt you. Let's face it, it could hurt you. But if you use mine, you'll see there's little sections around there. What had happened a few times that I did pop mine, one section popped up and blew the air out, lid stayed on, nobody got hurt. And I've done it quite a few times. A few times I did it on purpose. So safety is very important. If you don't feel safe, don't do this stuff. So thank you, Captain Slaymore. Greg Shivers, you're a funny guy. Enjoyed the video and learned from it. What I'm curious about, how long do I keep it in the pot to remove bubbles before I pour? Just need a good way to destroy them bubbles. Many thanks. and that is on my pressure pot. Okay, I think maybe you might have misunderstood what I said in that. Um, the pressure pot, as opposed to the vacuum chamber, the pressure pot is for your actual castings. So you have your mold made and everything. You fill it full of your clear resin, top it off, make sure it looks good and everything. You're going to put it in your pressure pot, and you're going to leave that pressure on there. I use the 6-hour resin. I usually just leave it in the pressure pot overnight. That way it completely cures. Because you're not using 80, 90 psi. If you're using 80, 90 psi, it's in this kind of a bucket, you can't do 80, 90 psi. And if anybody says otherwise, they're not telling the truth. But yeah, it's for after you pour into your mold, and you leave it in until it cures. So, like I said, overnight, I use a 6-hour resin, the Illuminate Clear Cast. I don't use the white resin in this at all because it's just too long to pump it up. By the time I pump it up, it's already dry, so I don't even bother with the white resin. I use only the Clear Cast. So I hope that helps, man. Greg Shivers, thank you. Darth Tasty again on making my vacuum chamber, part 3. Enjoyed your series of videos on the vacuum chamber. Sincerely, your number one fan. I got a number one fan. Somebody likes me. They really like me. Oh, jeez. Appreciate you, Darth Tasty. Thank you. Cheryl C. on the same video, part 3, making a vacuum chamber. Would there be any benefits to letting the resin cure in the vacuum chamber? I haven't tried it, but like I said, I use the pressure pot for the curing. The vacuum chamber I only use whenever I have mixed my resin and I let it sit and suck the bubbles out before I pour it. Give it a try and let me know. Or maybe I'll get bored some night and try it, because I really don't know. Malfunction. I remember last time this guy left me a comment, and I thought he was calling me a malfunctioning little twerp, and I'm like, okay. But his name is actually malfunctioning little twerp. Mega vacuum chamber part 2. Good idea. I have an old pressure cooker and 2 of those brake bleeder pumps I could use. I would suggest putting something in the pot along with the resin just to take up space so there isn't much air to pump out. Maybe rocks or sand, water bottles or something. I'll tell you what, man, I've already read this before and I commented on it. But yes, I tried that, and you're right. I stuck a brick in there. I had a piece of a brick. I stuck a brick in there. It kept my pumping down to a minimum. You entirely right. I appreciate the suggestion. As you can see, I commented I will try that. Well, I've tried it since I made that comment. I appreciate that suggestion. I tried it, and you're right. It worked. Mark Daniel, what would happen if you put the original plug in the first hole backwards? So this is a technical question. If you haven't seen the video, you won't understand. What would happen if you put the original plug in the first hole backwards, so from the outside instead of the inside, like you did with the valve for the locking mechanism? I'm just going to give a real quick, short, and sweet answer, because people that haven't watched these videos have no clue what he's talking about, what I'm talking about. I did try that. The plug was too flimsy, so I did it the way I did it in the video for that reason, and I answered your comment there. So no disrespect intended. Thank you for the comment, but it doesn't really fit into this video I'm doing right now. No one's going to understand unless they watch the video. But hey, check it out if you want to. Moving on. Lawrence Aldridge. Would a bucket with a screw lid work better? No, I just explained to that about why it would explode. The whole lid will come off and somebody might get hurt. You got to use the bucket lid that I'm using. Thank you, man, appreciate the comment, though. Chris. I can't read that name. This is the video I did about being depressed, going through depression, which a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I am the guy that will talk about it. And sometimes I'll just tell you. I mean, you can watch the video and see where I'm coming from. I'm fine tonight, and most of the time I am fine, but we all have our moments. We all have our feelings of stuff, and there's no reason why, just because you're a man, that you should hold them in. Stay strong, bipolar warrior. It's a daily battle, a daily struggle. I know I'm one too. All right, right on, Chris. I wish you all luck in the world, man. Keep hanging out. You'll see me do other stuff. Maybe we can work through stuff together. Somebody is just power texting I'll deal with it later. Teresa Ingram on the vacuum chamber part 1. Remember, that was a failure video. When using do-it-yourself molding compound, can I mold a piece of wood? Okay, apparently I haven't seen this one yet either. When doing the do-it-yourself molding compound, can I mold a piece of wood? I think that would be the same as what I said about the concrete. Sure, as long as it's sealed with polyurethane or something and it's not porous, I feel like it would work. But I've never done it. But I think the wood might get a better result than the concrete would. So give it a try and let me know. Or maybe I'll give it a try later. It's a very good question. But my first guess, I would say yes. And this is on the reusable molding from Sam Horler, Horler. I haven't even checked to make sure these are over there. All right, they're working. Great vid, thanks. You are welcome, and thank you. That Junkman, that's the one we're making fun of tonight because I'm sitting in his toy room, with the green screen. This is great but creepy. It's talking about the lost footage of Carl. Yeah, I do. I do the impression of Carl Childers, and I found some lost footage that I had aired on Facebook Live, but then I deleted it from Facebook Live. But I found the actual footage, so I went and threw it up there as a lost footage video. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out the Carl series. But that Junkman, that's actually who we're making fun of. So you can't click on my video on that, can you? Well, find him. It's worth it. He's a funny guy. If you like toys, vintage toys and stuff like that, mostly Star Wars, but he talks about other things too. Cheryl C's back with a question about my vacuum chamber part 1. Dumb question. First of all, there are no dumb questions. Dumb question. Can a tire valve stem work if the stem center is removed? Remember when I said there are no dumb questions? No, I'm just kidding. No, unfortunately, Cheryl, the valve inside that works opposite direction. So instead of having the suction, it's going to, trust me, it's not going to work. But thank you. JP 1357 on vacuum chamber part 1. This was funny and totally unexpected at first thought. We'll be curious what will look better when you might find the right bucket. I told you part 1 was a failure, so there's a little spoiler. But it was kind of funny because I didn't know it was going to be a failure until the end. So check it out. It's funny. And then he saw the pressure pot video. He said, "Sweet, thanks for showing." You're welcome. Well, yeah, a lot to go through. I think we're coming up to where we stopped last time. Lizzie Gray on the pressure pot for Clear Resin videos, the follow-up video, which is very important for everybody to watch if they're into the pressure pot video. Do you think using a steel bucket could hold more PSI, like 40 PSI max? Yes, steel bucket would work, but the whole reason I did it the way I did it was to try and just to see how low I can get the price, what it would cost us to make it, as opposed, and still get results. So, but yeah, absolutely, a steel one would absolutely work. Go get one on Harbor Freight. They work great. And you can get those up to like 60 PSI. But like I said, the whole purpose of those videos is to make the cheapest one possible that will work. So good luck with that. Thank you for your comment, Lizzie Gray. Dark Tasty again. Great video. Keep them coming. What's he talking about? Oh, the vacuum chamber part 1. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Fire Maze Heat Tray. Fire Maze Heat Tray. That's a new one. Thank you so much. This will save me lots of change making molds for my resin models. Thanks for sharing. That's the reusable molding compound. You're welcome. Oh, geez, I cringe every time I see this guy. Ed Summers. He usually has a couple comments I missed. Well, this is what happens. Yeah, I figured on my... Oh, why my channel isn't for the little ones. This guy always has something smart-ass to say. I don't know why I'd leave him on there. Your videos are not for anybody. Why don't you just quit and give us a break? Why don't you go find something else to watch, man? Seriously. Why you got to ruin an old man's good time? Next one. Ed Summers again. When was this? 13 days ago. I'm surprised I haven't seen this. I see you deleted my opinions. And then he calls me a coward. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, now you're under this time, buddy. Hope makes you happy. You're just showing your ass. Here's another one. Oh, no. Oh, I'm on the depression one. Oh, I've seen this one. Okay, I remember this now. I have seen this one. He said it took a lot of balls to make this. Good job. And I'm like, wow, you finally said something nice in the comments. Thanks. There's just no reason to be nasty, but I left that one in. I didn't see these other ones. Lost footage of Carl. Apparently he commented, not bad, maybe laugh a little. All right, well, I'll go ahead and like that now. I didn't see that either. Slacking them old age. Oh, man. I think this is where I feel like this is where we left left off last week. All right, well, let's do one more. Tori Evans on my vacuum chamber for resin casting. Dude, I have a whole stack of these lids. Got them from construction sites, painters' trucks, and occasionally behind restaurants they use for fry oil. Now I worked at a car auction, so they were always emptying trucks with paint buckets and hydraulic oil buckets in the back. Regular people are probably going to have to ask, but I don't see why anyone would care because they're backstage. They're basically garbage. They are also pretty easy to clean because nothing sticks to HDPE plastic, and the people rarely, if ever, use the pouring spouts. Personally, I'm having trouble finding the shorter buckets. Hope that helps someone. All right, you guys heard that. If you're looking for a bucket, read that. And I think we're at the point, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure we've done, I think we did that in the last video, so I think we're done with that today. So, let's go back to our screen. So that's about all I have in the comments today. It's been a really busy couple of weeks. I made a lot of cooking. I made 3 cooking videos just this past weekend alone. And because I've had the time to do it and was doing some cooking I don't normally do in my kitchen. So I'm like, oh, I got to videotape this. I'm doing this tonight because I realize I want to keep this up for every 2 weeks because it seems to be something fun to do. Oh, I burped. But anyway, it's good hanging out with you guys tonight. I have a little bit of work to do. We're hanging out in the junk room shop, or the junk room. If you get a chance, check out that Junkman on YouTube. He sent me this picture so I could use it for my background. 'Cause my shop behind this green screen is trashed. I got crap everywhere. I got projects I'm working on. I got stuff for customers. And I just didn't want to clean it up. Usually I try to clean it up before I do a video. You guys are lucky I even cleaned myself up tonight. So, what else I have to say? Like, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get some more subscribers. The more good people we have here, the more fun we can have. Leave comments, of course. Always leave comments. You know what's funny? I did this video last time, and whereas I don't think anybody left any comments on it. I don't remember seeing any comments tonight that were actually left on the last comment video I did. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I'll have to go check. But anyway, it's good to see you guys. I'm going to take a break now. And maybe I'll clean what's behind this magic curtain here. Yeah, pay no attention to the mess behind the curtain. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, doesn't Junkman's Indiana Jones look like Hank Hill? I think it should have like a propane tank in front of it. Dang it, Bobby. I'll sell propane and propane accessories. I thought it was funny. Guys, have a good night. I will see you later. Junkman channel's popping. All right, then.